In relationships, there are certain qualities and actions that have a profound impact on how connected and appreciated a woman feels. These qualities, though simple, are often overlooked by many men. Yet, for the rare few who practice them consistently, these gestures make all the difference, setting them apart in a truly meaningful way. From showing genuine emotional presence to offering specific and thoughtful compliments, these actions demonstrate care, understanding, and depth that go beyond the surface. Today we'll explore 7 things women love but only 1% of men do, shedding light on the subtle yet powerful gestures that women value deeply, but that only a handful of men seem to embrace. By focusing on qualities like patience, vulnerability, and support for independence, these actions foster a sense of trust, respect, and intimacy that strengthens a relationship. So, whether you're seeking to enhance an existing relationship or better understand what makes women feel truly valued, these insights could be the key to building a stronger, more fulfilling connection. Let's dive into the 7 traits that set the 1% apart. 1. Emotional presence. Truly listening and understanding. Emotional presence is not just about physically being there, but about fully immersing oneself in a conversation, actively listening, and truly understanding what the other person is feeling. This quality, though simple, can have a profound impact on relationships, especially for women who deeply value being heard and understood. Unfortunately, only a small percentage of men consistently practice this kind of presence. Emotional presence is the act of fully focusing on someone during a conversation. It's about putting aside distractions, giving the other person your undivided attention, and truly engaging with what they're saying on an emotional level. This means not only hearing the words being spoken, but also understanding the emotions and intentions behind them. When someone is emotionally present, they don't just listen passively. They respond thoughtfully with empathy, acknowledging both the words and the feelings. To illustrate, think of a conversation where you felt truly seen and understood. Perhaps the person leaned forward, maintained eye contact, and responded with questions or comments that showed they were genuinely interested. They didn't interrupt, look at their phone, or seem rushed. They simply existed in that moment with you, fully engaged. This is emotional presence, a powerful way of showing someone that they are valued and respected. Why women value emotional presence. Emotional presence is a quality that many women find incredibly attractive and meaningful. For women, being heard and understood is often a crucial part of feeling connected and valued. It's more than just words. It's the nonverbal cues, the active listening, and the genuine interest that make the difference. When a partner demonstrates emotional presence, it signals to her that her thoughts, feelings, and experiences matter. This kind of attentiveness is a form of respect, showing that she is worth the time and effort to be fully heard. In relationships, many women appreciate when their partners make an effort to understand their emotional world. For instance, if a woman shares something that has been bothering her, she's not always looking for immediate solutions or advice. Often, she simply wants to feel heard. When her partner is emotionally present, listening without interrupting or rushing to fix the problem, it creates a safe space where she feels accepted and understood. Furthermore, emotional presence fosters intimacy. When someone is present and genuinely engaged, it creates a sense of closeness and trust. Many women feel that when their partner is emotionally present, it strengthens the relationship, building a foundation of mutual respect and empathy. It becomes easier to open up and communicate when there's an understanding that the other person will be fully there to listen. For women, this type of connection is deeply fulfilling and often lays the groundwork for a strong, resilient relationship. Why only 1% of men are emotionally present? Despite its importance, emotional presence is a quality that only a small percentage of men consistently demonstrate. This isn't because men lack the capacity to be present or empathetic, but rather because modern life is full of distractions and pressures that often pull attention away. For many men, work commitments, digital distractions, and the constant connectivity of smartphones make it challenging to be fully engaged in a single moment. One of the biggest culprits is technology. With the prevalence of smartphones and social media, the temptation to check notifications or respond to messages during a conversation is always present. In fact, studies show that even the presence of a phone on the table can reduce the quality of a conversation, as it signals potential distraction. For men who are juggling work, social obligations, and family responsibilities, putting aside digital devices to be fully present can be difficult. However, this act of setting distractions aside is precisely what makes emotional presence so impactful and rare. Work pressures and the desire to solve problems can also interfere with emotional presence. Many men, when faced with a partner's emotional concerns, may feel a sense of responsibility to fix the issue. This problem-solving instinct can lead them to offer advice or solutions rather than simply listening. While well-intentioned, this approach can make women feel unheard, as it shifts the focus from understanding their emotions to resolving the issue quickly. True emotional presence requires setting aside the urge to fix and simply focusing on understanding. Additionally, cultural expectations may play a role. Society often places an emphasis on men being action-oriented and solution-driven, traits that can sometimes overshadow the softer skills of empathy and active listening. Emotional presence requires vulnerability, patience, and a willingness to engage with feelings, qualities that may not always be encouraged or prioritized. For these reasons, many men unintentionally overlook the importance of being fully present, making it a rare and valuable trait. Emotional presence is a skill that can be developed with practice and intention. Here are a few ways to become more emotionally present in relationships. Eliminate distractions. Before engaging in a conversation, put your phone away, turn off the TV, and create an environment where you can focus entirely on the other person. Small actions like these show respect and create a space for genuine connection. Practice active listening. Active listening involves not just hearing words, but paying attention to tone, body language, and emotions. Nod, make eye contact, and respond with empathy. Reflect back what the person is saying to show you understand. Resist the urge to solve problems immediately. When your partner shares something with you, resist the instinct to immediately offer solutions. Instead, listen and acknowledge her feelings. Often she's looking for support and validation rather than immediate advice. Show empathy. Empathy is about understanding and sharing another person's feelings. Try to put yourself in her shoes, imagining how she might feel. Express understanding through phrases like, "I can see how that would be tough," or "That sounds really challenging." Practice patience and stay present. Emotional presence often requires patience. Take the time to slow down, fully engage, and show that you're in no rush. This creates a safe space for deeper conversations and allows your partner to open up without feeling pressured. When men practice emotional presence, the impact on relationships can be profound. Women who feel heard and valued are more likely to feel connected, secure, and supported in the relationship. Emotional presence builds trust, which in turn strengthens intimacy and communication. When both partners feel comfortable sharing their feelings and know they will be heard, the relationship becomes more resilient and fulfilling. Emotionally present partners also find that misunderstandings are minimized as they take the time to fully understand one another's perspectives. This leads to healthier, more open communication and reduces the chances of unresolved issues building up over time. Emotional presence, therefore, doesn't just benefit one partner. It enriches the entire relationship, fostering a sense of unity and mutual respect. 2. Giving genuine and specific compliments. Compliments are one of the simplest yet most effective ways to show appreciation in a relationship. But not all compliments carry the same weight. While general compliments like "you look nice" or "you're great" are appreciated, they often lack the depth and specificity that make a woman feel genuinely seen and valued. Giving genuine, specific compliments takes the art of appreciation to a whole new level, showing that you're not just noticing her in a superficial way, but actually paying attention to her unique qualities, strengths, and efforts. The power of a genuine, specific compliment. A specific compliment goes beyond the surface. It shows that you're actively paying attention to who she is, what she does, and how she expresses herself. Genuine, specific compliments are about noticing the details, whether it's the way she lights up a room when she laughs, the creativity she puts into her work, or the patience she has with her friends and family. These types of compliments aren't just offhand remarks, they're reflections of meaningful observation, which requires presence and genuine interest. Imagine receiving a compliment like, "I really admire the way you handled that difficult situation with grace and patience," versus a generic, "You're amazing." While both are positive, the former leaves a lasting impact because it shows thoughtfulness and recognition of a specific quality. It acknowledges effort and uniqueness, which reinforces that the compliment is authentic and not just given out of habit. For many women, specific compliments are meaningful because they indicate that her partner truly sees her, not just her appearance or general qualities, but the smaller, often overlooked parts of her personality, effort, and individuality. This kind of appreciation fosters a sense of intimacy and trust, making her feel valued in a more personal way. Specific compliments allow women to feel celebrated for who they genuinely are. When a man pays attention to the little things, it tells her that he isn't just skimming the surface, he's genuinely engaged and interested. For instance, if she spends time thoughtfully planning an event or putting effort into a creative project, a specific compliment on her attention to detail or creative approach tells her that her efforts haven't gone unnoticed. This type of praise feels validating and reinforces the notion that she's valued not just for her appearance or surface qualities, but for the effort, thoughtfulness, and dedication she brings into her daily life. Furthermore, specific compliments create a more positive dynamic in the relationship by fostering mutual respect. When a woman feels that her partner appreciates her in a thoughtful way, she is more likely to feel respected and understood. This builds a stronger emotional bond, making her feel comfortable and secure in the relationship. Specific compliments, therefore, go beyond flattery. They are a way of building trust and reinforcing a connection that is based on genuine understanding and appreciation. Though it may seem simple, offering genuine and specific compliments is surprisingly rare. Many men default to general compliments like, "You look great," or "I'm lucky to have you," without realizing that these statements, while nice, don't capture the full range of what makes a woman feel truly appreciated. This lack of specificity often comes down to a few factors. Firstly, many men aren't taught the importance of offering detailed compliments. Society often emphasizes grand gestures or visible expressions of love, like gifts or acts of service, but the importance of verbal appreciation can be overlooked. As a result, men may not realize that a well-placed, thoughtful compliment can mean just as much, if not more, than other displays of affection. Secondly, it requires an intentional shift in focus to give specific compliments. To notice and appreciate the smaller details, men need to be actively present and observant. This means taking the time to notice qualities, efforts, and unique characteristics rather than just the obvious. For instance, instead of simply saying, "You look nice," a specific compliment might be, "I love how your outfit reflects your unique style. It's confident and elegant, just like you." Such a comment requires an awareness of her style and personality, demonstrating a deeper level of appreciation. Finally, it requires vulnerability. Offering specific compliments means expressing genuine feelings, which can feel vulnerable or unfamiliar for some men. Specific compliments are inherently more personal, requiring men to put words to their thoughts in a way that feels authentic and specific. This can feel intimidating, but it's this authenticity that makes the compliment impactful. If you want to make a meaningful impact in your relationship, practicing specific compliments is a great place to start. Here are some practical tips on how to cultivate this skill. Observe closely. Start paying attention to the smaller details about her. Notice her habits, her unique ways of doing things, or her expressions. Does she have a way of cheering others up when they're down? Does she put extra care into her work or personal projects? These observations are the foundation for specific compliments. Express appreciation for effort, not just outcome. Complimenting her efforts, rather than just the result, shows that you notice the work and care she puts into things. For example, if she spent time organizing an event, compliment her planning and attention to detail, not just the success of the event. Focus on qualities, not just appearances. While complimenting someone's appearance is fine, make an effort to appreciate her qualities, her kindness, sense of humor, creativity, or resilience. Complimenting her character and actions lets her know that you value who she is, not just how she looks. Be specific and sincere. Avoid vague statements. Instead of saying, "You're wonderful," specify what makes her wonderful to you. For example, "I love how you always find a way to make everyone feel comfortable in any situation. It's such a special gift." Recognize her growth and strengths. When she overcomes a challenge or achieves a personal milestone, acknowledge her growth and resilience. Comments like, "I really admire how you handled that tough situation with such patience and strength," show that you're aware of her personal journey and the effort she puts into bettering herself. Practice consistency. Make specific compliments a habit, not just something you do occasionally. When she knows you consistently recognize and appreciate her, it builds a stronger, more resilient relationship. Specific, genuine compliments are a simple yet powerful way to build intimacy and connection in a relationship. They show that you value your partner, not just for her appearance or surface qualities, but for the unique individual she is. By practicing the art of specific compliments, you demonstrate that you're fully present, engaged, and appreciative, reinforcing trust and emotional closeness. So next time you're with your partner, take a moment to observe the little things that make her special and share a compliment that truly reflects her individuality. It's a small gesture that can make a world of difference, helping you build a deeper, more meaningful connection based on genuine appreciation and understanding. 3. Performing thoughtful acts of care. In relationships, grand gestures often get a lot of attention. Lavish dates, extravagant gifts, or grand declarations of love. While these can be impactful, they are not the only ways to show love and appreciation. In fact, it's often the smaller, practical acts of thoughtfulness that have a lasting impact. These gestures, like making a cup of coffee in the morning, helping with household chores, or planning a fun evening without being asked, are the everyday expressions of love that can strengthen the foundation of any relationship. Thoughtful acts of care are small, meaningful gestures that go beyond words. They are not grand declarations, but quiet, consistent acts that show attentiveness, respect, and consideration. These acts demonstrate a willingness to make an effort for your partner's happiness and well-being, often without expecting anything in return. They might seem simple, brewing her favorite tea, tidying up the house, or planning a surprise date night. Yet, these actions show a deep level of awareness and an understanding of what makes her feel valued and supported. Imagine coming home after a long, stressful day and finding that your partner has already prepared a warm meal or tidied up the living room for you. This thoughtful act tells you without words that you're cared for and that your comfort matters. It's a gesture that may take just a few minutes, but it creates a lasting impact, making you feel seen, understood, and valued. These small, thoughtful acts provide moments of relief, joy, and comfort that build emotional closeness and foster a strong sense of security. In essence, thoughtful actions are about recognizing your partner's needs and fulfilling them in ways that communicate love, empathy, and attentiveness. They're a practical language of love, expressing care through actions rather than words. Over time, these small gestures become the building blocks of trust, affection, and mutual respect. Thoughtful acts resonate with women on a deep level because they show that her partner is genuinely paying attention and cares about her well-being. While words are powerful, actions can speak even louder. For women, these practical expressions of love signify reliability and sincerity. When a partner goes out of their way to do something thoughtful, it demonstrates that they are willing to put in the time and effort to contribute positively to the relationship. Many women appreciate these gestures because they create a sense of partnership and shared responsibility. For example, if a man helps with household chores, it sends a message that he values her time and energy, recognizing the work that goes into maintaining a home. These actions are more than just helping out. They are a form of respect, acknowledging that both partners contribute to each other's happiness and comfort. Additionally, thoughtful acts build a sense of intimacy and connection that words alone can't achieve. When a man takes the time to make her favorite meal, pick up a book she mentioned, or plan a surprise day out, it shows that he remembers the little details about her preferences, likes, and dislikes. These small efforts create a feeling of being truly known and understood, which is incredibly comforting and deeply satisfying. They help her feel appreciated for who she is, not just for her role in the relationship. Despite the positive impact of thoughtful gestures, only a small percentage of men consistently incorporate them into their relationships. This isn't necessarily due to a lack of care. Rather, many men simply underestimate the power of small acts of kindness or think they're not as important as larger expressions of love. For some men, showing affection and appreciation is often associated with big gestures, like buying gifts or taking their partner out for a fancy dinner. They may assume that these grand expressions hold more weight, while small, daily gestures are easy to overlook or forget. But in reality, these smaller actions often carry significant emotional value and can have a lasting effect on the relationship. Grand gestures are memorable, but it's the daily acts of thoughtfulness that truly make a relationship feel safe and stable. Additionally, some men may not be as attuned to the subtle cues that signal what their partner appreciates. Without clear communication, they might miss opportunities to show love in practical ways. For example, they may not realize that helping with household chores, preparing breakfast, or offering to run errands can be forms of affection and support. While they may care deeply, this care might not always translate into actions that their partner finds meaningful. Lastly, many people, both men and women, underestimate the power of habit in relationships. Establishing a habit of doing thoughtful acts requires a level of mindfulness and intentionality that may not come naturally to everyone. However, those who do practice these small gestures consistently often see the benefits reflected in their relationships, with stronger bonds, greater trust, and a deeper emotional connection. If you're looking to strengthen your relationship, consider incorporating thoughtful acts into your daily routine. Start the day with a small gesture. Making her a cup of coffee or tea in the morning can set a positive tone for the day. It's a simple act, but it shows that you're thinking of her needs even as the day begins. Take on chores without being asked. Doing household tasks like washing the dishes, taking out the trash, or folding laundry without being prompted is a powerful way to show respect for her time and effort. It also demonstrates that you're committed to sharing responsibilities. Plan special outings or dates. Surprise her by planning a fun evening or a weekend outing. It doesn't have to be elaborate, just something that shows you're thinking about spending quality time together. This could be a picnic, a movie night, or even a simple walk in the park. Listen and remember small details. Pay attention to the little things she mentions, her favorite snacks, movies, or hobbies. Surprise her by bringing home her favorite treat or suggesting an activity you know she enjoys. This shows that you listen and value her preferences. Offer support. During busy or stressful times, if she's going through a busy or stressful period, offer to help in any way you can. Even small things like cooking dinner, running errands, or giving her some extra time to relax can make a big difference. Write small notes or messages. Leaving a quick note in her bag, sending a thoughtful text, or leaving a little note in the house can be a great way to let her know you're thinking of her. These simple acts of affection add warmth and surprise to her day. Celebrate small wins and milestones. Recognize her achievements, whether they're big or small. Compliment her on her hard work, or celebrate with a small treat. These gestures show that you're genuinely invested in her happiness and success. Thoughtful acts of care can transform the dynamics of a relationship, fostering a deeper sense of partnership, trust, and affection. When these small gestures become a regular part of the relationship, they create a sense of predictability and stability. A woman who consistently experiences thoughtful acts from her partner will feel more secure and appreciated, making her more likely to open up and invest emotionally. These acts of care also build a strong foundation of mutual respect. When both partners see that the other is willing to go the extra mile to make life a bit easier or brighter, they develop a sense of unity and collaboration. This shared responsibility and commitment to each other's happiness strengthen the relationship, making it resilient even in challenging times. Finally, thoughtful acts bring a sense of joy and spontaneity to everyday life. When you show love in these small, meaningful ways, you keep the relationship alive and prevent it from falling into monotony. It's a way of saying, I care about you, not just today, but every day. And this ongoing expression of love is what makes a relationship flourish. 4. Patience and empathy in difficult situations. In any relationship, challenging situations inevitably arise: conflicts, moments of stress, and disappointments. How we respond to these moments can significantly impact the emotional climate and long-term health of the relationship. While it's natural to want to fix a problem as quickly as possible, a different approach, one grounded in patience and empathy, often proves more effective in creating a safe, supportive environment. This approach is about truly listening, understanding, and allowing room for emotions, rather than jumping straight to solutions. Patience and empathy are fundamental to building a strong emotional foundation in relationships. Patience allows us to take a step back, letting our partners express their thoughts and emotions without feeling rushed or pressured to move on. Empathy, meanwhile, enables us to truly connect with how our partner feels. Together, these qualities foster an environment where both individuals feel respected, valued, and understood, regardless of the challenges they may face. When a conflict or stressful situation arises, responding with patience means resisting the urge to immediately solve the issue. Instead, it involves taking a breath, staying calm, and acknowledging that some problems require time to process. Empathy comes into play as we try to see things from our partner's perspective, validating their feelings, and showing that we care about their experience, not just the outcome. These responses can create a sense of comfort and security, assuring our partner that they're not alone in their emotions. For example, imagine a scenario where a partner comes home frustrated after a difficult day at work. Instead of offering solutions right away, practicing patience and empathy might involve listening intently, asking questions about their experience, and simply acknowledging their feelings without judgment. This approach gives them space to express their emotions and can be more comforting than any solution. By embracing patience and empathy, we foster a culture of respect and trust, which strengthens the relationship over time. Patience and empathy resonate deeply with many women because they create a safe emotional space where vulnerability is welcomed. In a world that often rushes individuals to get over it or move on, the ability to take time and validate emotions is rare and precious. This approach allows women to feel truly seen and heard. When a partner demonstrates patience and empathy, it signals that their emotional experience is respected and that their thoughts and feelings are valued, not something to be dismissed or rushed. In relationships, many women appreciate when their partners show a willingness to sit with discomfort, giving space for emotions to be fully expressed. When a man can handle these emotions with patience and empathy, it builds a strong foundation of trust and emotional intimacy. Instead of feeling like her feelings are a problem to be fixed, she feels understood and accepted for who she is. Moreover, empathy communicates a level of attentiveness and understanding that can be deeply reassuring. By putting themselves in their partner's shoes, men can show a kind of support that feels genuine and meaningful. This type of connection goes beyond surface-level support. It demonstrates that he cares not only about the outcome, but also about her emotional journey. This is what makes patience and empathy such valued qualities. When a woman knows that her partner will listen without judgment, she feels safe to be vulnerable and to share her true self. Despite the positive impact that patience and empathy can have on relationships, these qualities are unfortunately rare. Many men feel a natural pressure to fix problems immediately, stemming from both societal expectations and personal habits. From a young age, many men are socialized to be problem solvers, leading them to approach emotional conversations with the intent of finding a solution rather than offering a listening ear. This instinct, while well-meaning, can sometimes overlook the emotional needs of their partners. Moreover, patience requires a degree of self-awareness and emotional intelligence that can be challenging to cultivate. Patience asks us to pause, to resist impulsive reactions, and to remain calm even when emotions are high. For many men, this process feels uncomfortable, as it goes against the instinct to act quickly and decisively. Developing patience takes practice and intentionality, and it often involves reframing how we view our role in emotionally charged situations. Empathy, too, can be challenging. Truly empathizing with someone requires us to step outside our own perspective and connect with their experience. This means putting aside our own judgments and preconceived notions, which can be difficult for anyone, regardless of gender. Men, in particular, may struggle with empathy in emotionally charged situations if they've been conditioned to prioritize logical problem-solving over emotional understanding. The combination of these factors, societal conditioning, the instinct to solve, and the challenges of emotional vulnerability, explains why only a small percentage of men practice patience and empathy consistently. However, those who do cultivate these qualities often find that their relationships are more fulfilling and resilient, as they've built a foundation of trust, respect, and emotional intimacy. For women, patience and empathy create a space where vulnerability is welcomed and appreciated. When a partner demonstrates these qualities, she feels safe, respected, and understood, allowing her to share openly without fear. So for those seeking to deepen their relationships, remember that patience and empathy are not just responses, they are commitments to understanding, supporting, and growing together. Through these practices, you can build a lasting connection rooted in love, respect, and genuine care. 5. Embracing vulnerability and true emotions. Showing vulnerability, sharing fears, dreams, insecurities, and hopes can lead to more genuine and profound connections in relationships. For many women, vulnerability signals trust and openness, creating a safe space where both partners feel understood and valued. Despite its benefits, only a small percentage of men consistently allow themselves to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is not about weakness, it's about authenticity. When we allow ourselves to be open, sharing our inner thoughts and feelings, we invite a deeper, more meaningful connection. In relationships, this honesty strengthens emotional intimacy, showing that we're not just presenting an image but rather our true selves. Vulnerability means expressing fears and insecurities without fear of judgment. It also means sharing dreams and aspirations, letting our partner know what truly matters to us. Through this openness, we create an environment of mutual respect and understanding, where both people feel accepted as they are. Imagine a conversation where one partner opens up about a fear they've been harboring, such as a career change or uncertainty about the future. Rather than dismissing or downplaying this fear, the other partner listens, offering support and understanding. This moment of vulnerability becomes a point of connection, where both partners feel seen and valued. Instead of masking their emotions, they reveal their true selves, laying the foundation for trust and emotional closeness. Embracing vulnerability also helps us grow emotionally. When we share our insecurities and dreams, we face our own feelings more honestly, which encourages personal growth. Being vulnerable requires courage, but it also leads to greater self-awareness and a deeper understanding of what drives and inspires us. For many women, vulnerability is incredibly attractive because it signals trust and openness. When a man allows himself to be vulnerable, he is breaking down societal expectations of Stoicism and showing that he's willing to be real. This openness fosters a deeper emotional bond as women feel they're connecting with their partner on a more authentic level. Instead of just seeing him as a protector or provider, they see his humanity, his hopes, and his struggles, creating a sense of mutual support and respect. Women appreciate vulnerability because it creates emotional safety in the relationship. When a man shares his true feelings, fears, or aspirations, it communicates that he trusts his partner enough to let her into his inner world. This level of openness allows both partners to feel valued and secure, knowing that they're not hiding parts of themselves. For women who often value emotional connection and depth, vulnerability is a powerful way to build intimacy and closeness. It tells them that their partner is not only present in the relationship, but fully invested in it emotionally. Furthermore, vulnerability provides reassurance. When a man shares his insecurities, it shows that he's willing to work through challenges together. This quality can make women feel more confident in the relationship, as they know they have a partner who isn't afraid to show up as he is, no matter the circumstances. The willingness to be vulnerable helps women feel trusted, which, in turn, fosters a strong emotional connection and a sense of partnership. Despite its value, vulnerability remains a rare quality among men. Social pressures and stereotypes often discourage men from expressing their emotions openly. Many men are raised with the belief that they need to be strong, independent, or unemotional, making it difficult to express vulnerability without feeling judged or weak. Society's expectation that men should always appear strong can create a barrier to emotional openness, as vulnerability is often seen as the opposite of strength. Additionally, showing vulnerability requires a degree of self-awareness and emotional intelligence, skills that are not always encouraged in men. For those who have spent years concealing their emotions, letting their guard down can feel foreign or even uncomfortable. Many men fear that revealing their insecurities or fears will make them seem less manly, leading them to suppress their feelings rather than share them with their partner. The instinct to protect rather than share can also play a role. Many men feel responsible for the well-being of their loved ones, which can lead them to withhold their own emotions to avoid causing worry. This desire to be the strong one may prevent them from opening up, even though sharing their feelings could actually deepen the relationship. When men embrace vulnerability in their relationships, the positive impact is profound. For women, knowing that their partner is willing to share openly creates a powerful sense of security and emotional closeness. Vulnerability creates a space where both partners feel safe to express their true selves, strengthening the foundation of trust and intimacy. In the long term, this openness builds a more resilient and fulfilling relationship. When both partners are willing to share their emotions, they communicate more honestly and resolve conflicts with empathy. Vulnerability fosters understanding and compassion, as both individuals feel seen and respected. This mutual understanding prevents misunderstandings and resentment, as each person knows they can turn to the other without fear of judgment or dismissal. Embracing vulnerability also encourages personal growth. When we're open about our emotions, we become more self-aware, better understanding what drives our actions and decisions. This growth leads to healthier, more stable relationships, as both partners feel encouraged to work on themselves and support each other's development. Moreover, vulnerability brings joy to everyday life. When partners feel comfortable sharing their dreams, fears, and insecurities, they can celebrate each other's successes and offer comfort during difficult times. This open exchange creates a sense of companionship that goes beyond romantic love. It becomes a partnership rooted in genuine care and understanding. 6. Supporting her independence and ambitions. In a healthy and fulfilling relationship, both partners encourage and support each other's goals, passions, and personal growth. However, truly supporting a woman's independence and ambitions requires more than just surface-level encouragement. It means actively respecting her journey without jealousy or insecurity. When a partner can do this, it fosters a sense of mutual respect and trust, allowing her to feel valued as an equal. Although this kind of support is incredibly powerful, it's rare to find partners who can consistently uphold it. When a man wholeheartedly supports a woman's independence, he is showing that he values her for who she is as an individual, not just as a partner. Independence in a relationship doesn't mean distancing from each other. It means nurturing the unique qualities and passions that each person brings to the relationship. This approach allows each person to continue growing personally, which ultimately enriches the partnership as a whole. Supporting her independence means encouraging her career, interests, and ambitions, even if they don't directly benefit the relationship. Whether it's her career, hobbies, or goals, showing support creates a relationship where both partners are free to pursue their dreams without fear of judgment or resentment. It's about fostering an environment where her achievements are celebrated, not viewed as threats. In this way, you show that you're invested not just in her role as a partner, but in her overall happiness and fulfillment. For instance, if she's working late to prepare for a major presentation or spending extra time on a hobby she loves, being supportive means celebrating her commitment rather than feeling neglected. Your support could take the form of small gestures like making her coffee in the morning before a big day, cheering her on from the sidelines, or simply giving her the space she needs to pursue her passions. These acts show that you're not only her partner but also her teammate, someone who genuinely wants to see her succeed. For many women, having a partner who genuinely respects and supports their ambitions and independence is incredibly attractive. A supportive partner shows that he values her as an individual, reinforcing that she's seen as a whole person with her own aspirations, strengths, and dreams. This approach fosters a partnership built on equality, where each person's journey is celebrated and respected. Women appreciate this kind of support because it creates a relationship dynamic based on trust, respect, and mutual encouragement. When a man values her independence, she feels empowered to pursue her goals without the fear of being held back. Knowing that she has a partner who encourages her ambitions provides emotional security, allowing her to invest fully in both her personal pursuits and the relationship. Moreover, a supportive partner reassures her that she won't have to choose between her dreams and her relationship. In many cases, women feel pressured to prioritize their relationships over their own ambitions due to societal expectations. However, a man who genuinely celebrates her achievements and interests demonstrates that he's not threatened by her success. This reassures her that her growth won't create distance in the relationship. Rather, it will strengthen it. This kind of support tells her that she is valued as an equal and respected as a unique individual, not simply defined by her role in the partnership. Despite the importance of supporting a partner's independence, this level of support is rare. Many men struggle with jealousy or insecurity when their partner pursues her ambitions, often due to societal conditioning or personal insecurities. Some men may feel that their partner's success or independence reflects on their own self-worth, leading to a sense of competitiveness or inadequacy. Traditional gender roles also play a role in this dynamic. Many men are raised to believe that they should be the primary providers or that they should hold a dominant position in relationships. When a partner is successful, ambitious, or highly independent, some men may feel that their role in the relationship is threatened. These beliefs can make it challenging for them to truly celebrate their partner's achievements and support her autonomy without feeling insecure. Moreover, supporting a partner's independence requires a level of emotional maturity and self-confidence that not everyone has developed. A man who consistently supports his partner's independence must be secure in his own identity, comfortable with equality, and open to growth. This level of self-assurance allows him to view his partner's success as a positive aspect of the relationship rather than something that detracts from his own identity. For many men, this perspective shift can be challenging, which is why only a small percentage of men fully embrace this approach. If you want to strengthen your relationship by supporting her independence, here are some practical ways to do so. Encourage her goals. Take an active interest in her career, hobbies, or passions. Ask her about her goals and offer genuine support. Whether it's attending her events or simply listening to her talk about her ambitions, showing interest in her goals demonstrates that you're invested in her happiness and success. Celebrate her achievements. Celebrate her successes as you would your own. Whether it's a promotion at work, a new personal best at the gym, or an achievement in her hobby, acknowledging her accomplishments shows that you're proud of her growth. Give her space to pursue her passions. Independence requires room to grow. Give her the time and space she needs to invest in her pursuits. Rather than feeling neglected, recognize that her time spent on her passions is part of what makes her who she is. Avoid comparisons. Resist the urge to compare yourself to her or to feel competitive. Relationships aren't a competition, and her success doesn't diminish your own. Embrace her growth as something that adds value to the relationship rather than something that detracts from it. Encourage balance. Encourage a balanced lifestyle where she can pursue her ambitions while still maintaining a healthy relationship. Support her in finding harmony between her goals and your shared time together, fostering a relationship where both individuals can thrive. Communicate openly and honestly. Share your feelings about her ambitions openly. If you ever feel insecure or left out, communicate those feelings rather than suppressing them. This openness can foster a stronger bond and ensure that you both understand each other's perspectives. Show appreciation for her unique qualities. Recognize the qualities that make her special, her determination, creativity, resilience, or any other attribute that contributes to her ambitions. Letting her know that you see and appreciate her individuality reinforces that you value her for who she truly is. By encouraging your partner's goals, respecting her unique journey, and celebrating her achievements, you create a partnership based on mutual respect, trust, and shared growth. This support reassures her that she can pursue her dreams without compromising her relationship, allowing her to invest fully in both her personal journey and the relationship. For women, having a partner who genuinely values their independence is empowering. It creates a space where they can be themselves, knowing they're appreciated for their unique qualities and ambitions. This dynamic builds a foundation of trust and respect, making the relationship stronger and more resilient. In the end, supporting her independence and ambitions isn't just an act of love, it's an investment in a relationship built on equality and growth. By embracing this approach, you create a relationship where both partners feel empowered, respected, and free to become the best versions of themselves. Through this mutual support, you foster a bond that is deeply fulfilling, resilient, and rooted in genuine partnership. Creating shared experiences and memories. These shared memories, whether created through travel, shared hobbies, or spontaneous adventures, become milestones that couples can look back on, reminisce about, and feel closer because of. While some people may overlook the value of creating these moments, intentionally planning and participating in meaningful experiences can truly enrich a relationship. Creating shared experiences goes beyond simple dates or routine outings. It involves actively crafting unique, memorable moments that both partners will cherish. These experiences become part of the story of the relationship, a foundation that both people can look back on fondly. Shared memories bring couples closer because they create a feeling of we rather than me and you. They allow each person to see the relationship as a shared journey filled with meaningful moments and mutual growth. For example, taking a weekend trip to a new city or trying a new activity together, like cooking a new recipe or going rock climbing, allows you to see each other in a new light and build memories that are unique to your relationship. It's these moments that can help keep the relationship vibrant, creating a foundation of joy, excitement, and togetherness. Shared experiences also serve as a reminder of the things that brought you together in the first place, strengthening the bond during both happy and challenging times. Furthermore, shared experiences help keep the relationship fresh and exciting. By continually discovering new things together, couples are more likely to stay engaged and invested in each other. These experiences can provide a healthy dose of adventure and spontaneity, which often counteracts the routine and predictability that relationships sometimes fall into over time. Many women value shared experiences because they provide a sense of connection and adventure in the relationship. Shared experiences are often perceived as acts of commitment, signaling that their partner values the time spent together and is invested in building a lasting relationship. By creating these moments, a man shows that he is willing to put effort into making the relationship meaningful, which makes her feel appreciated and cherished. For women, these experiences are not only a chance to make memories, but also an opportunity to bond on a deeper level. They provide a chance for shared growth and mutual support, where both partners are engaged in the same activities and can celebrate each other's strengths and vulnerabilities. For instance, traveling together can reveal new aspects of each other's personalities, creating deeper understanding and respect. Additionally, shared experiences provide emotional anchors in a relationship. During difficult times, reflecting on these happy moments can be a source of comfort and motivation to work through challenges. When a woman recalls a beautiful memory created with her partner, it can strengthen her attachment and remind her of the love and joy that the relationship brings. These memories become cherished highlights, giving her a strong emotional connection to the relationship. Despite the positive impact of shared experiences, only a small percentage of men actively pursue creating them in relationships. Many men might overlook this aspect, assuming that daily routines and occasional outings are sufficient. For some, the idea of planning activities or trips might seem unnecessary, especially if they believe the relationship is solid as it is. Another reason could be that some men may not feel comfortable stepping out of their own routines or comfort zones. Creating unique experiences often involves trying new things or taking risks, which can feel intimidating. Additionally, planning and organizing events can require time, effort, and creativity, which some men may not prioritize, particularly if they are not naturally inclined to take on the role of planner. Finally, societal expectations sometimes discourage men from focusing on relationship-building activities, viewing these efforts as unimportant or even trivial. Some men are conditioned to believe that financial security or stability alone is enough to sustain a relationship, without recognizing that emotional connection and shared experiences play a significant role in relationship satisfaction. This perspective can lead to a lack of effort in creating those memorable moments, even though these experiences often have a lasting positive impact on the bond between partners. If you want to deepen your relationship by creating shared experiences, here are some practical ways to do so. Plan regular outings. Set aside time to explore something new together, whether it's a weekend getaway, a concert, or a museum visit. Making these outings a regular part of your relationship routine keeps things interesting and gives you both something to look forward to. Try new activities together. Engage in activities that neither of you has tried before. Learning something new together, whether it's cooking, hiking, or dancing, can create fun, lighthearted moments that strengthen your bond. Celebrate milestones. Recognize and celebrate significant milestones in your relationship, whether it's an anniversary, a birthday, or the accomplishment of a shared goal. Use these occasions as opportunities to create special memories, like going to a fancy restaurant or planning a surprise event. Incorporate spontaneity. Surprise your partner with spontaneous plans, like an unplanned picnic in the park or a night out to see a live show. Small, unexpected moments can add excitement to the relationship and show that you're willing to make an effort. Document your memories. Take photos or keep a journal of your shared experiences. Looking back on these memories can provide a wonderful reminder of all the joyful moments you've shared and help solidify the history you're building together. Explore shared interests. Discover and nurture mutual hobbies or interests. Whether it's a love for outdoor adventures, art, music, or food, finding activities that you both enjoy can lead to even more quality time together and create a shared passion. Create traditions together. Establish unique traditions that are just for the two of you, such as an annual trip, a favorite restaurant you go to every month, or even small rituals like a movie night every Friday. Traditions add a sense of continuity and belonging, creating memories that you'll look forward to each year. Creating shared experiences is more than just having fun together. It's about building a foundation of memories that strengthen the connection between partners. By planning and engaging in meaningful activities, you invest in a relationship that is not only fulfilling but also resilient and dynamic. These experiences allow both partners to see each other in new ways, creating an emotional bond that grows stronger with each memory made. For women, having a partner who actively creates shared experiences is incredibly fulfilling. It shows that her partner values quality time and is committed to building a life together filled with cherished moments. This dynamic creates a sense of adventure, excitement, and mutual appreciation that enhances the relationship. Ultimately, investing in shared experiences is an investment in a relationship that will stand the test of time. By embracing this approach, you create a relationship that is vibrant, deeply connected, and filled with moments that you'll both treasure for years to come. Through these shared experiences, you build a love story that is truly unique to the two of you. A journey filled with joy, growth, and enduring connection. In the journey of relationships, small but meaningful actions can make an immense difference. When men embrace qualities like active listening, emotional presence, vulnerability, and thoughtful gestures, they create a relationship dynamic that is both deep and fulfilling. These qualities often stand out precisely because they're rare. Only a small percentage of men consistently practice them, but for those who do, the impact on their relationships is profound. Women value these traits because they show a willingness to connect on a deeper level, a commitment to mutual growth, and a genuine investment in the happiness and well-being of their partner. By striving to understand and incorporate these rare yet cherished qualities, men have the opportunity to create lasting and meaningful bonds. Relationships built on these values are resilient, as they foster trust, respect, and appreciation. While it may take practice to cultivate these habits, the rewards, stronger connections, shared joy, and a deeper sense of partnership are well worth the effort. So aim to be among the 1%, taking pride in building a relationship that thrives on authenticity, compassion, and genuine connection. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear this. Let's strive to live better, more respectful lives. Until next time, stay strong, stay stoic.